Welcome to the oil patch, the new offshore oil patch. As the 20th century comes to a close, this is the kind of environment in which the exploration and production of oil and gas will take place. Obviously, a lot of our earlier technology wasn't intended to work here. Most rigs weren't built for the high winds and waves or the freezing temperatures of these remote northern drilling frontiers. What the offshore drilling industry needed was a rig designed not just to survive, but to work full-time in these extreme conditions. A jackup so independent of frequent supply that it can keep on drilling, especially in the new sectors now opening up, the North Sea, Eastern Canada, and Alaska. What the drilling industry needed was a creature that's at home in the offshore wilds. What we need is the gorilla. Marathon Manufacturing Company, Houston, Texas. We took the first steps to meet the challenges of new offshore frontiers right here in the late 1970s. Marathon Letourneau Offshore Company had gained a reputation as the most experienced rig builder in the business. Over the past 25 years, we had built more than 150 jackups. We had already built 3 classes of jackups for 3 different offshore needs. Compact 150-44C rigs for mild environments and shallow waters. Shallow draft 82 class rigs with cantilever drilling packages for deeper waters and moderate working environments. And our most popular rigs, the large 116 cantilever jackups. Built for waters up to 300 feet deep and more challenging working conditions, the 116 had become the workhorse of the international offshore fleet. With this kind of experience, we could see clearly what was happening. Vast new offshore territories were opening up, areas that could be most economically explored with a large, hostile environment jackup. Existing jackups worked well enough in water depths up to 300 feet and moderate seas, but these frontier areas were more remote, conditions were more hostile, and the water was deeper, up to 350 feet. And these waters covered some of the richest offshore plays that could only be exploited with more costly semis and drill ships. The time was right to take the next step in jackup rig technology. So Marathon began designing a hostile environment jackup precisely for these areas and their challenging operating conditions. A rig strong enough to work full-time in the worst environments, and large enough that it wouldn't be dependent on frequent resupply. The first Gorilla rig was built by Marathon Letourneau's Marine Division at Vicksburg, Mississippi. Our very first jackup, the Zapata Scorpion, was launched here in 1955. In November 1982, 73 rigs after the Scorpion, the first steel plates for the Gorilla were laid out on the riverbank. Now, time-lapse photography condenses the next 11 months into less than a minute, a complete visual record of the construction of the first Gorilla rig. What you are seeing is an idea becoming a reality. It's the world's largest jackup being constructed, one that will drill in deeper water in a more hostile environment. A jackup that can be towed with its full leg length in place so it can get on location faster and go to work sooner. A jackup with nearly 1 acre of main deck area, a rig that will stay on location and work continuously in all kinds of weather without resupply. What you are watching is the birth of a new generation of offshore drilling technology, the birth of the Gorilla. October 1983. With construction nearly complete, the massive rig is ready to be launched. This 13,500-ton jackup would enter the water the same way as all the other rigs built here at Vicksburg, by walking itself in. Time-lapse photography makes it possible to see the Gorilla's slow movements, using its self-elevating system, The bow leg and two stern legs were alternately raised and lowered. The result was a slow cycle of seesaw motions. First the bow was lowered, then the stern was lowered, and when the bow was raised again, the stern legs moved forward. The walking process is an innovative solution to the challenge of launching a rig into the Mississippi, where the constantly changing water level prevents construction of conventional launching ways. The Gorilla retains all of Marathon Jack-Up's long-proven strengths. It's a stable drilling platform, elevated above the waves. A highly mobile unit that starts drilling soon after arriving on location. We extended these strengths by designing the rig to move with its full leg length, more than 500 feet in place. To make this possible, we substituted I-beams for tubular members in the construction of each leg's base section. This design change added the strength and rigidity that enables the Gorilla to make ocean moves with its full legs erected. The world's most remote offshore drill sites would be the Gorilla's provinces, so we created a patented hull design that would make the rig easier and faster to tow in the rough seas of these frontier areas. This aft view shows the propulsion assist ports, each wider than a two-car garage. The thruster units housed here have a combined power of 6,800 horsepower. They add knots to towing speed and help position the rig precisely during leg-lowering operations. The rig carries Marathon Letourneau's most advanced high-performance solid-state marine cranes, PCM 350s and PCM 120s. The cranes are strategically placed to service the entire platform with backup. The view through the slot. The Gorilla's slotilever design allows multiple drilling positions in both the slot and cantilever modes, with a drilling pattern larger than any other jackup, 24 by 79 feet. Because it is meant to work in the most hostile offshore areas, the rig's drilling mode and survival mode are the same when the drilling package is over the slot. We knew this massive drilling platform would roam the globe, so we wanted to keep its ground-bearing pressure low enough to handle the widest variety of seafloor conditions. We did this by increasing the diameter of the spud cans to 66 feet. This design change gives the Gorilla a ground-bearing pressure of 7,250 pounds per square foot, not much higher than a Class 116C rig, even though the Gorilla is nearly twice as heavy. With all these innovations, one proven feature remained the same: our electromechanical elevating system. This system is a simple, reliable, integral part of more than 200 jackups in the worldwide fleet. The Gorilla has 96 individual elevating units, an 8-high gear system located at the corner of each of the 3 legs. They're capable of elevating 18,000 tons at 90 feet per hour. All jacking operations are controlled from the bridge by one man, operating a push-button console with up, down, and stop functions. During the launch, work on the rig continued, even though things up on deck weren't always on the level. Along with its massive size and many innovations, we made sure the Gorilla would meet the criteria of the world's key regulatory agencies. Classified A1 by the American Bureau of Shipping, the Gorilla satisfies or exceeds requirements of the U.S. and Canadian Coast Guards, the UK Department of Energy, and the Netherlands Department of Mines. The Gorilla made its journey down the Mississippi without its full leg length because it had to pass under 6 bridges along the way. Here, towboats maneuver the rig under the Natchez Bridge in a light fog. The next day, as the Gorilla passes the New Orleans skyline, we get a view of its massive main deck, 297 feet long by 292 feet wide. Along with the bulk and liquids storage capacity below deck, there's room for a variable load of approximately 5,000 tons, comparable to that of the largest semi-submersibles. South of New Orleans, welders add the drilling derrick and complete the leg up. Here, the Gorilla rises to its full height, towering 50 stories above the muddy bayous of the Mississippi Delta. With its full legs erected, the Gorilla set out on its first ocean voyage on December 10, 1983, 6 weeks ahead of schedule. Destination, the Sable Island area offshore eastern Canada. Under the tow of 2 ocean-going tugs and aided by the 2 powerful propulsion assist thrusters, the 2,300-mile tow took only 17 days. On location at its first drilling assignment, 268 miles east of Halifax in 207 feet of water, the Gorilla is in its natural element. This region is truly on the frontier of offshore drilling, a hostile area with challenging conditions, far removed from shore bases. For these locations, the Gorilla can be constructed with crew quarters for 120 men. The rig's capacities are also geared to the most remote locations and hostile operating environments. The Gorilla is designed for a variable load of approximately 5,000 tons, plus a 650-ton derrick pull-in load. It can carry up to 17,500 barrels of drill water, 1,450 barrels of drinking water, and 2,500 barrels of liquid mud. It has space for 16,000 cubic feet of bulk storage in 10 tanks and 3,250 square feet of sack storage. Drilling goes on in a fully winterized work area. The Gorilla can drill either with the derrick cantilevered beyond the stern or with the drilling package over the slot. This slot-a-lever design means that drilling can proceed in rough weather, in conditions that would force a shutdown of operations on other jackups and semi-submersibles. For example, ABS environmental criteria for the Gorilla with standard leg length range from water depths of 150 feet with 100-knot winds and 88-foot waves to 350 feet of water with 100-knot winds and 79-foot waves. With its legs extended to 570 feet, the Gorilla can work in water 400 feet deep. This map of the North Sea, prepared by Noble, Denton and Associates, illustrates the tremendous drilling range of the Gorilla. The rig can drill year-round in all areas shaded in dark blue, virtually everywhere south of 58 degrees north latitude. Farther north, in more hostile waters above 58 degrees north latitude, the dark blue area indicates where the Gorilla can drill throughout the year, while the green patches show where the Gorilla can drill in the April through September weather window. Now, there's no need to face the offshore wilds with anything less than a rig created specifically for remote and hostile environments. Get the Gorilla on your side. The Marathon Letourneau Gorilla, the King Kong of offshore rigs.